Chapter 11 to 12. Jackie started the fight with 3 swift kicks in a vertical line aiming to end the match quickly. Tracking the trajectories of each kick, Goku was able to match Jackie's speed and put both his hands out to block. Expecting an impact, Goku braced himself only to be left confused when he felt nothing. He saw that each kick actually phased through him like they were an illusion. Before he can figure out the situation, Jackie's fist materialized out of nowhere, caving Goku's face in. Goku, a little dazed, wipes the blood off his mouth when he backed up a little. What the hell? I have never seen that before. Jackie smirked at Goku, sensing his confusion. You have much to learn, young one. If you can afterimage your entire body, then individual attacks are a possibility, right? Enlightened, Goku instantly wanted to try and improve himself even more than what he was thought possible. Initiating this time, Goku tried the afterimage technique that he saw Jackie do earlier. Creating afterimages wasn't just moving fast, but creating a sense of yourself at the place that you want. Goku was only able to fully replicate it after watching Jackie do it. One Goku popped out after the other, like a horde of monkeys that had just seen their meal for the day. Each one was in a different fighting pose, like an elaborate dance shifting from one style to another with grace. Amazing! Jackie was utterly surprised to see the sheer learning capabilities of his own student as his eyes darted from the afterimages before him. Doing tick for tack, Jackie also transformed into a blur of afterimages, albeit not as smooth as Goku. He, however, made up for it with his superior experience whenever they clashed. Goku spun around and launched a Superman punch with unreal agility. Jackie sidestepped unhurriedly, having Goku's punch graze him on the rib. Jackie sent a fist to the back of Goku's head only to find air. Goku turned his head just in time to avoid his hit and promptly did a handstand. Goku lurched his 2 feet to Jackie's face. Seeing the impending salls, Jackie jumped back, feeling the wind that Goku produced. Using the momentum from his kick, Goku was able to get himself back up. Goku is this strong? I was instantly defeated and he is standing toe-to-toe with that old fool. I need to step up my game. Yamcha's self-confidence risen when Ranfan actually accepted a date with him but got shot down again when he saw Goku's monstrous strength. Lad, you are pretty good. But let's see if you can stand up to my drunken fist. Hick! Jackie suddenly started to become dizzy and swayed back and forth. Knowing this move from his grandpa, Goku also started to use the drunken fist. The very serious fighting competition turned into a slugfest of 2 drunken dudes as everyone's sweat dropped at the incredible display. How is executing the drunken fist? A kid like him shouldn't be able to use this move unless he actually experienced being drunk. Don't tell me that rascal Gohan. Hey, how are you able to use drunken fist? Goku started to laugh a little in his mind as he told Jackie. Isn't it only to act like an idiot and go with the flow? I see my master do that all time, so it was pretty easy. Jackie's face reddened and decided to punish Goku later for that remark, no matter how true it was. Seeing his drunken fist was getting nowhere, Jackie sobered up and backed up from Goku. Goku did the same. They started to go back to using martial techniques. After a while, they split up, looked battered and bruised all over from the exchanges that they made. Why, you are one incredible martial artist. You must have one amazing master. Ah! Why, yeah, thanks, you two. Goku's sweat dropped at Jackie's shameless, hidden praise of himself and really wanted to finish the fight already. Once Jackie stopped laughing, he did some strange movements with his arms, like he was a mine with a wall in front of him. Noticing the move and the fact that he was getting sleepier, Goku squeezed his eyes quickly to regain his mind. Surprised at Goku's quick decisiveness, he started to sing his lullaby, hoping all was not loss. This time, Goku covered his ears to block out most sound. Gritting his teeth, Jackie abandoned his technique and sent a fist towards Goku, who was open because he was covering 2 of his vital senses. Noticing Jackie's presence getting closer, Goku just blindly put his arms to block his face and braced himself. He didn't open his eyes to avoid getting disoriented by a sudden intake of light. Goku got lifted off the air by Jackie's sheer strength and he landed right next to the edge, trying to regain his sight. You are the most promising martial artist I have ever had the chance witness. Unfortunately, you are still behind me in terms of strength, young one. Suddenly, Jackie's body swelled up to resemble a bodybuilder. He started to kiss his pecs and gave winks full of hearts towards some of the ladies in the crowd. How did none of the Z fighters figure out that Jackie is Master Rashi after the Kamehameha and this technique? Feeling the waves of pressure coming off of Jackie's new form, Goku decided to try out his last resort. This form is not perfected yet, but it seems like I have no choice. Ignoring Jackie's confusion, Goku looked up towards the moon that was shining brightly in the night. Consequentially, Goku started to grow hair all over his body with various monkey features replacing his old ones. Everyone's eyes bulged at the rumored great ape roamed empty Pozu that loomed over them like a titan of death. *T. Jackie quickly dodged a fist that came towering over him with his enhanced physique. Goku's flurry of punches started to distort the martial ring to an extreme degree as Jackie was barely dodging his death. Goku, although made considerable progress in controlling his great ape form, was unable to fully exhibit and utilize his giant body and 10x increase in strength properly. Jackie, on the other hand, had better control over his enhanced form despite the weaker power increase. Jackie started to climb up Goku's arms and attacked him with various punches and kicks like an annoying fly. Goku barely took any damage with these attacks, but the accumulation of each attack and frustration was eventually getting to his head. The scene resembled a certain gorilla versus a series of annoying attacks pelting him from the skies. Seeing Goku get wearier, Jackie went in front of the rampaging beast and started to charge up his laser. Kamehame. Knowing that this was it, Goku tunnel-visioned on Rashi and opened his mouth to concentrated the enormous ki that dwelled inside him towards his mouth. It was like looking at a light show when the beams charged up with one side entirely red versus the engulfing blue. Ah! Goku fired when he heard Jackie finish his chant. His beam of death barreled his way through and completely decimated the entire side that Jackie was placed. All that was left behind was a shadowy afterimage that was still in the Kamehameha pose in his wake. Looking behind him, he saw a blue beam full of turtle power spiraling towards him, spelling out his defeat. Goku woke up with a splitting headache like he just woke up from a hangover. Looking around, he saw pure destruction around him from his fight with Jackie Chun. Goku laid there thinking back to his fight with Rashi and how he lost if just barely. Seems like I lost to Master Rashi even if he was somehow stronger than canon. It is not too surprising. I basically had the same training as the OG Goku, so bridging that gap would have been almost impossible. Even with my newly acquired, controlled great ape couldn't defeat Rashi's fine technique during his enhanced state. A shadow loomed over him from behind. He turned around to see the rest of the crew with the addition of Yamcha, Puar, and Ranfan. Bulma, leading the group, spoke up to the dazed Goku who was still lying down. That was one amazing fight, Goku. What was with that transformation earlier? I have never seen you do that before. Bulma's eyes filled with curiosity as she remembered Goku's wish while everyone else was filled with a little fear. That was a transformation I had since I can remember whenever I looked at the full moon. It's hard to control, but as you saw, it gave me a lot of power. I am still working on it. Formidable trump card there, Goku. Too bad that the great Jackie Chun was stronger than you. What a great guy. You need to keep on training to get stronger even if you can't live up to his awesomeness. Alright, let's go get some grub. Master Rashi's boasting bounced off Goku and onto everyone else as Rashi dashed over to the nearby restaurant like a famished hobo. Everyone was at a table having a good time eating to their heart's content. Yamcha was attempting to flirt with Ranfan, shaking nervously continuously. Goku and Krillin were sharing their training regime with Bulma and Chi-Chi while they talked about the recent events that led them to be friends. Lastly, Puar was stopping Master Rashi and Oolong from molesting their innocent, plump waitress. Hey Goku, what are you planning to do now? I am going to go and train at Master Rose's. He actually invited Yamcha to join, but I don't know if he will, seeing how he is with Ranfan now. Looking over, Krillin saw Ranfan whispering something into Yamcha's ear, while his entire face went red and nearly passed out. I am going to head over to Bulma's. I promised her I would do something, so now that we are not training I plan to do it. Krillin had a surprised expression while Chi-Chi was elated hearing the news. Why, you are going to come with us to Bulma's house? I practically live there now ever since my castle burned down. Lucky bastard. He's got 2 hot chicks while I am going to be stuck with those 2 pervs over there. Krillin looked over his should to find 2 giant red slap marks on both Rashi's and Oolong's face like burn marks. Goku was currently in a car with Bulma driving and Chi-Chi in the backseat. They were hashing out the details of Goku's job at Capsule Corp. My parents don't see the point in having security with how laid back they are. Still, with all these armies popping up one after the other, they can't argue with me of hiring some personnel. Right now I have 2 other guys hired and I reserved the head guard duty to you. The other 2 seem intense and tough, so you might need to prove yourself to them. You are a kid after it's all said and done. Hey, I am a teenager. 13 years old. Could have fooled me. Anyway, as the head of security and my friend, you will be staying in the main building mostly looking over my family and I. The other 2 will be taking orders from you and looking over the science department. Goku was soaking in the details of his job until he remembered something. He turned around to look at Chi-Chi, who was looking at the passing buildings. By the way, Chi-Chi, you said you mostly stay with Bulma, right? Where do you sleep? For the first time on the car ride, Chi-Chi looked at Goku straight in the eyes. I live in the guest room next to Bulma. My dad is trying to regain at least a portion of his money back to get a house. Are you going to go to school, Goku? Bulma looked at Goku with the side of her eyes. Cars were honking continuously at her, yet she pretended to not hear them. You kidding? School is cancer. Agreed. Chi-Chi and Bulma said simultaneously. Just as they pulled up to Capsule Corporation, Bulma pulled a fast one on Goku. Hey Goku, You remember our adventure months back? Goku nodded hesitantly, not liking where this was going. Bulma started to rummage through her cupboard looking for something. Eventually, she pulled out a shiny orange ball with one single red star inside. I found a Dragon Ball. I wasn't looking but just found it accidentally one day. Old times, huh? Goku was looking at the Dragon Ball with a piece of sweat coming out of his head. Good thing they hired security. They were getting out of the car when they saw two tough-looking people at the entrance intimidating anyone who gets near. One was the definition of a buff man with ripped muscles in every aspect of his body. The other was slimmer for equally intimidating with his sharp gaze that made you feel uncomfortable. The tough-looking one and Goku stared at each other when Goku got off the vehicle. Everyone can feel the tension in the air weighing down on them as their stare went on for a minute. Eventually, the tough man spoke, stupefying everyone. The name is Bob. Goku was currently talking to Bob and his partner, Bob, about their duties. Goku assumed that both of their names were the same, but they vehemently opposed the idea. They said that their names are instead opposite of each other. Due to their persistent nagging, he had no choice to accept. Apparently, the Bobs heard that Goku placed second on the World Martial Arts Tournament before they arrived, so they already placed him as their boss despite the age and height difference. To differentiate between the Bobs, he decided to call them Tough Bob and Tall Bob in spite of their grievances towards the confusion. After talking to them, Goku went over to find Bulma and Chi-Chi to see what they were doing. On the way, he was able to find Dr. Briefs on the side working on something small. Seeing the opportunity, Goku approached him, making his footsteps sound as to not scare the scientist. Hey! Dr. Briefs, what are you doing? Dr. Briefs doesn't look at Goku but continues tinkering with whatever is in his hands.
A robot cat?
Just recalibrating this machine. I can't seem to get it to work properly. Have you ever thought about making a machine out of gravity or something? Dr. Briefs finally stopped what he was doing and looked at Goku for the first time. Gravity, huh? I can see many implications for studying gravity and manipulating it, but nothing really practical for me. Besides, there are nearly no studies on gravity, so I would have nothing to go off of. Is it alright if you create a chamber of sorts that enhances the gravity inside? I think it will help me train my body a lot more effectively. Did you not hear what I just said? Even if you are Bulma's little crush, it will take years to develop any gravity-related device. It's not that I don't have an interest in it, but I have no time because I almost have my robotic cat upgraded. Dr. Brief deadpanned. He then pressed a button from his pocket and an eerie purr that sounded like something was dying. What if I told you I have something that would help? Goku was wriggling his eyebrows in Dr. Brief's direction. What? You never told me you are an alien. In the Briefs family personal lab, Dr. Briefs was observing Goku's spaceship while Bulma and Chi-Chi were wailing on Goku for his secret. Well, it never came up. I don't have any memories of my home planet either. All my grandpa said was that I came from that pod. Bulma calmed down a little after his explanation. Well, that explains the fact that there are no species like yourself anywhere on Earth. You looked up my species? I guess you are a scientist after all. Goku asked incredulously. Bulma turned her head to hide away the blush that crept up her face. Just curious. Anyways, Goku, why did you bring it here? Chi-Chi asked the question on both hers and Bulma's mind. Why would Goku bring his spaceship to study suddenly without telling them? Well, since the pod is from another planet, I was hoping that Bulma's dad can study it so that he can gain some insight on gravity manipulation. Indeed, Dr. Briefs came over to the little group with barely contained excitement. This spaceship is amazing. Such incredible technology contained in such a small device. With this, not only gravity technology will be a breeze, but space travel as well. Dr. Briefs dragged the now starry-eyed Bulma that finally realized the opportunity to tinker with technology from Goku's homeworld. Chi-Chi and Goku's sweat dropped at the sight of drool dripping off Bulma's chin and onto Goku's pod. 29:30. Goku right now was doing push-ups with the new gravity chamber that was recently whipped up to test it out. It wasn't a large room, just big enough to house 8 people comfortably as they were still researching the optimal ratio of metal to withstand higher gravity. Wow man, this is only 2x gravity, yet it feels like my body wants to kill me. It was just a week since Goku arrived at the house and they were already able to create a prototype of gravity enhancement. The Briefs were truly mad geniuses if their lack of sleep the entire week wasn't the indicator. Hey Goku, you can train in here, but remember that you are still technically our bodyguard. There have been some strange movements from the Red Ribbon Army near our house, so I want you to go check on it. Bulma's voice came over the intercom that blared throughout the entire room. You know, if you make a portable version, then we can knock 3 birds with 1 stone. 1 for my training, 1 for bodyguarding, and 1 for enhancing your research. Don't get your hopes up. We just made this 2x chamber, so it is safe to say that a portable one, if even possible, is still a ways away. Don't worry though, we have been studying weighted clothing in conjunction with gravity, and we have prepared GI for you. It isn't as intense as 2x throughout your entire body, but it will do the trick. Goku came out of the chamber incredibly sweaty. Waiting for him were Chi-Chi and Bulma with towels and said GI on the table. Here Goku. Chi-Chi offered the towel which Goku accepted gratefully. After drying himself, he excused himself from the girls to try on his new apparel in the bathroom. The weighted GI doesn't give as much as a full body workout, but it does help with getting better control towards such stress. Hey Goku, remember that we are going shopping today. Do I have to come? Didn't you say to check the perimeter? Yes, you do. You are our bodyguard, so it is your duty to guard me with your body. You can do that after we come back. You need new clothes anyway. Knowing that there was no way out, Goku stepped out of the bathroom to the expectant Chi-Chi and Bulma. Oh Goku, check out my newest tech. As Bulma said that, she pressed on a little button on Chi-Chi's watch-like accessory. Wait Bulma. Before she can talk anymore, Chi-Chi instantly shrunk to the size of an average palm. Before she can plop down onto the ground, Bulma extended her hand to catch her. I am a genius, right? This is my new shrinking technology. Chi-Chi agreed to help me with the testing phase of it. Imagine all you can do with it shrinking to this size. Goku was staring at the frantic Chi-Chi on Bulma's palm in amazement. With Goku experiencing puberty and knowledgeable of his previous world's multitude of fetishes, he blushed when he indeed imagined all you can do with it. Forgetting about those crazy thoughts, he went to find the Bobs to discuss the security while he was gone. After talking to the Bobs about protecting the older briefs, Goku set off to the shopping mall in West City with 2 teenage girls. OMG! Chi-Chi, you would look amazing in this dress. Bulma was looking at Chi-Chi in adoration while she slowly spun around to show how the clothes fit on her. Goku was staring at the two while they were shopping with drool from his excessive boredom. Besides his feet were bags upon bags full of clothes and makeup that Goku had to lug around. Goku, how do I look? Chi-Chi looked up shyly at Goku with anxiousness in her eyes. However, once she saw Goku's dozing expression, a fire suddenly lit inside of her. She went up to him and thunked him in the head loud enough for the whole mall to hear. Even if you are bored, you are still Bulma's bodyguard, so act like it. Just as Goku became more alert, he sensed something headed their way at extreme speeds. Goku flung his hand to redirect the rocket that was about to hit the store. The mall went into a panic at the sudden violence as the rocket exploded next to a bench instead. Move out of the way. Official red ribbon business. We won't hesitate to use force. Strolling in the area was an old hillbilly, a wolf standing on 2 legs, and their leader, a red-haired playboy. Despite his red hair, black trench coat, and blue shirt and pants, his name was Colonel Silver from the Red Ribbon Army if the red bandanas were an indicator. Hey Colonel. Commander Black had told us the Dragon Ball moved to this section of the mall. Silver wasn't paying attention to the hillbilly that was explaining to him what he already knew but to the destruction that the rocket he ordered land astray from its destined path. Looking towards the source, he saw a small kid giving him a glare that made him shiver down to his spine. Silver approached the kid that was protecting 2 shocked girls. The kid's gaze told him that he was special and knew about the Dragon Balls. Wonder what led him to that conclusion. Hey kid, my team and I looking for an orange ball with red stars in the middle. Have you seen anything like it? We will compensate you sweetly. Goku, without any fanfare, launched a punch towards Silver. Unable to match his speed, let alone see Goku's fist approaching, Silver went flying onto a nearby fountain. Everyone's eyes bulged out of their sockets with what just went down. The hillbilly and wolf started to fire bullets and rockets from their firearms in a desperate panic to make sense of the situation. Catching every bullet and redirecting the rockets towards the ground, Goku was able to make sure no one got hurt. Using the bullets, he threw the bullets towards the henchmen to instantly knock them out. Goku, that was the Red Ribbon Army. It is the largest army right now on Earth. Do you know what you have done? The army obviously knew that we have the Dragon Balls. It wasn't coincidental that they came here. We need to head to your home and check the radar. If they are gathering them, then it is for nothing good. We have to stop them. Seeing his point, Bulma and Chi-Chi agreed even though they wanted to stay double the number of items they had. Knowing their thoughts, Goku sighed internally out of relief. Phew. Any more bags plus this weighted armor could have killed me. Arriving at the Capsule Corp, they find that it was smoking a little from the back. They hurriedly ran to the front door to see it smashed open. Lying there in a pool of his own blood with multiple bullet impalements was Tough Bob. Running up to see if he was okay, Goku noticed that he was barely alive due to his toughness. Seeing Goku, alive with the 2 girls, Bob sobered up a little to impart the last message to Goku. They have briefs. Bob. Bob was coughing blood while he was talking. Before he can finish, the light in his eyes dimmed and he officially left this world. Bob, although I only knew you for like a week. Bob, don't worry about him. He was on death row anyway. He apparently convinced my gullible dad to let him accept the job so he can delay the inevitable. Goku and Chi-Chi looked at Bulma with amazement with her lack of compassion for Bob. He was literally dying right before them and she had the gall to insult him? Have some heart. Moving past Bob, they arrived at the laboratory was the smoke was coming from. Inside were signs of a struggle and various machines had bullets holes in them. Making sure that none of the machines were going to explode, the gang started to look around for any clues. They soon found the dragon radar smashed to tiny little pieces with a hammer next to it. They all knew what had happened once they saw the wreckage and radar. The Red Ribbon Army had the intention of getting the dragon radar only to have Dr. Brief smash it last second. They then kidnapped him for his knowledge about the radar. I am going to get your parents back, Bulma. I will drop you guys off at Rashi's before heading off. I can't let you go. They are my parents. How will you find them anyways? You need my help. Yeah, this is something we need to do together. We can't just sit on the sidelines. Knowing that Bulma will not recreate the dragon radar unless she got what she wanted, Goku allowed them to come. They clambered onto Bulma's plane with Chi-Chi behind the wheel. Bulma grabbed the broken dragon radar and started to rebuild it from scratch. They headed off to Master Roshi's place in the meantime to recollect and plan.